After 10 years of smack-talking, joystick-chucking, and Pringle-popping hijinks in the fighting game circuit, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 finally receives its long-overdue sequel, and some of the series' most stalwart supporters are more than a little mad about it. From its bold 3D look to the many striking changes behind the fundamental game, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has no doubt drawn its fair share of critics, but Capcom remains firm in the belief that it's made a game that's truly for the fans. The times have changed, and so has the series, but after a long decade, has it really been worth the wait?
No! Let's keep on coming! Maximum fire!
An interdimensional rift precipitated by the dreaded Dormammu has renewed the age-old conflict between Page and Pixel, pitting 36 of the most revered icons in comics and gaming in a super-powered tag team match to the death. Recast and reimagined in 3D, the 2011 lineup brings back some familiar faces alongside debuting longtime hopefuls. Devil May Cry finally sees a champion with the third iteration of Dante, and superhero superstars like Deadpool, Super Skrull, and the never-quite-dead Phoenix come to represent the Marvel side of the struggle. It's a rich and interesting mixture in all, peppered by a few odd picks, unexpected surprises, and curious omissions that may or may not end up as potential DLC down the road. There may not be getting around the fact that the comparatively modest roster pales in comparison to its predecessor's 56-character Sprite Bonanza, but the final casting comes off nonetheless as an earnest effort in variety. Whether by means of carefully renovated movesets and properties to the advent of maniacally realized creations like MODOK, each character old and new feels like it plays a role in the game's ambitious reinvention of the series. And indeed, from the return of the classic 3-on-3 format to the ludicrous style and tempo of each match, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 successfully rekindles the series' feel and enhances it in turn with a solid set of modes inspired by Street Fighter's recent run on the consoles. There's a fully equipped training mode outfitted with tons of options that even extend to simulating various latency conditions online, and a gauntlet of creative combo challenges in mission mode to put your skills and confidence to the test.
I'm at full power! Beating
Unlockables such as characters, gallery pieces, and customizable title parts provide ample motivation to keep the embers of competition burning bright, and you'll always feel like you're earning something as a steady trickle of profile points funnel your way. When it comes to online play, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 inherits a template similar to Street Fighter 4's smoothly handled network mode, though with a few improvements like superior stat tracking, lever prevention, and preset loadouts for frequently used teams. The only significant thing missing is the ability to record and spectate in lobby matches. The netcode holds up well to the strenuous pace of combat, but expect to encounter a few unsavory transactions once the green bars ripen to different shades. Of all the excellent features, only arcade mode comes out feeling a little skimpy, opting out of Street Fighter 4's more elaborate intro, outro, and rival battle sequences. In light of the amazing cinematic trailers leading up to the game's release, arcade mode's charming but altogether underwhelming PowerPoint-style endings definitely leave something to be desired. If there was any fighting game deserving of a goofy, fleshed-out narrative, it is certainly this one.
Case closed.
It's a good thing, then, that the game still maintains a strong sense of personality thanks to an impressive effort in writing. Tag team-outs, pre-match banter, and win quotes display an amusing amount of detail and character interaction, throwing frequent references to Marvel canon and obscure Capcom arcana.
There's darkness in me, and I know darkness.
It's a small, neat touch in the end, but for a game that's full of them, it definitely adds up to a polished and extremely well-thought-out experience all around. It may come from the team that brought you Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, but it's clear that MVC3 is its own beast. The series' shift to 3D hasn't done much to take the edge off its quintessentially insane playstyle and jaw-dropping combos, evoking a particular kind of crazy that most fans wouldn't have any other way. But it's also clear that this is an altogether different game. The control scheme has played musical chairs for the third time counting, and the game-defining exploits that have marred the series' rep appear to be finally gone for good. Make no mistake, though, the potential to deal absurd amounts of damage is still very much intact. From ground bounces and resets to all sorts of intricate setups with a new aerial tag feature, the game has proven every bit as permissive when it comes to combo crafting as its predecessors, even at this early stage.
Freeze!
In lieu of the game-shattering mechanics divined by the fighting game community in the second game, comes one officially endorsed by the third, the X Factor. In short, players are given one opportunity per match to make a strong comeback, not unlike the Ultra system conceived by Street Fighter 4. It's a game changer in the most dramatic sense. Outcomes of entire matches can entirely hinge on who uses it at the most opportune moment. Attack, defense, and health regeneration values momentarily shoot through the roof, creating opportunities for insanely damaging combos and clutch turnaround moments that could very well turn things around, even in the direst situations. Initiating attacks and moving about the screen feels incredibly tight and responsive, and in the hands of an experienced player, fiddling around with the game's plethora of updated mechanics feels like stepping into a highly tuned sports car running to spec. Constructing combos from scratch is more fun than it's ever been. For everyone else, there's Simple Mode, which does a decent enough job of truncating the system's breadth into a remedial MASH-friendly scheme. Players wishing to up their game past the basics will have to delve into external sources of information, however, as past the threadbare sample combos found in Mission Mode, there's little else to be found within the game itself. In all, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is unapologetic in more ways than one, exulting in the methodized chaos of its fighting engine in a way that few other games can. With combos that can very well wipe out a character's entire life bar in one go, the game certainly isn't for the weak of heart. But if you're willing to keep up with its intense pace and outrageous style, you'll find a deep and incredibly entertaining fighter that definitely lives up to the series' infamous and enduring reputation. The death of Capcom's long-famous sprites is lamentable, but it's hard to argue against the fact that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 turned out to be a gorgeous-looking game nonetheless. Reforged in a lustrous palette of polygons and comic-style shaders evocative of the genuine article, the dazzling visuals work overtime in selling you a game that truly looks like the product of two worlds. Animations are crisp, and the action maintains an impossibly smooth clip, even during the most absurdly explosive moments. Setting the mood is a techno-themed soundtrack that duly pays reverence to many of the classic arcade themes in past games. While the remixes are ultimately a bit of a mixed affair, the various clever quips and zingers woven into the many character interactions definitely make their mark.
Magneto, welcome to die! You should fear me.
I wanna take you for a ride.
In successfully reviving the series' trademark brand of fast-paced action and insane shenanigans, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 stands as a worthy partner in crime to the current vanguard of fighting game staples. It doesn't strive for balance in the way that Super Street Fighter 4 does, but in overclocking its high-stakes gameplay to the fullest, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 relishes in crazy moments and is all the better for it. In the end, it tries its damnedest to be a game that everyone could enjoy. You'd have to be saltier than the Dead Sea not to plug in, have fun, and enjoy the ride.